I don't know if it's streaming me or not yet. Oh, I think it is. Yes. Hello, Sunny. Hello. This was much easier to set up the second time around, and then I just wasn't sure whether or not it had actually worked. Oh my goodness, I don't think I have my correct microphone plugged in. Hi, Plain Sight. I just realized I didn't plug the right microphone in, so my audio might be shitty right now. All right. Is that better? Does that sound like it's the right microphone / can you hear me? Did it work? Hello. Thank you. Yes, it was, I can't remember exactly which day was the 1 year, and then I was, sorry. Then I was going to look it up before I started, and I forgot to. But I know I had posted about it on my Blue Sky. I guess it was last week. Yeah. It was at some point in the last week or so, but I thought that it would be kind of a fun concept for a stream to talk about my my videos so far that I've made over the last year. Oh good, I'm glad the microphone works now. I didn't notice until I reached down to use my microphone. I mean, I reached down to use my mouse, and my mouse still worked, and I was like, that means the microphone is not plugged in. All right. Hello, everyone. Hi. 14 people already. That's a lot. I felt a bit guilty about just popping in completely unannounced earlier. That was mostly because I had no idea how I was going to feel about streaming until I was actually doing it. But it turns out I love it. I had a really fun time earlier. I streamed for like an hour and a half. We did like a little tier ranking of things people have gotten mad at Chapel Roan for this year. I had dropped this in the chat before it started, but I'm going to put it in the comment section too, just because I think that'll make it... Oh, I can't leave like an actual comment until it's over. That makes sense. But if anybody wants to ask me questions or anything, I set up a little Google form for specifically just this one stream so that it doesn't like clog up the rest of the suggestion form. But I just kind of wanted to hang out and we could talk about anything y'all want to. Yes, Sunny was right. Sunny told me that streaming was addictive and is correct. So I have just my channel pulled up. And then I have to do the same thing I did earlier because I still can't figure out how to pop my chat out. All right. All messages. Perfect. All right. Awesome. So I talked about this a little bit in the stream earlier, which is why I like had the idea to do this as my second stream. I ended up talking about my Bechdel test video, which was my first video ever. And yeah, that's a year ago. Why was I was just looking for my Blue Sky post that I had made on the anniversary when I literally could have just opened this video and looked at the date. Oh, and it looks like we're in the middle of it. Yeah, so this is my Bechdel test video. This was the first one that I uploaded, and I uploaded it on December 9th, 2023. So yes, that was, I guess, last week. Maybe? I don't know. I can't do math like that in my head. Also, this description, who wrote that? That does not look like how I do my descriptions anymore. Sometime in the 2000s, film students found a test for female representation in film and called it the Bechdel test, so named for the cartoonist who wrote the comic the test first appears in. Back in 2013, Alison Bechdel has said that while she's glad mainstream culture is finally catching up to where lesbian feminism was 30 years ago, she can't bring herself to keep relitigating the subject. 40 years out from the comic's creation, I have decided to take up that tiresome chore for myself. A little bit pretentious there. The way we talk about the Bechdel test is incredibly flawed, and in this video essay, I use examples ranging from the Shakespeare play Virginia Woolf referenced in A Room of Our Own when she initially commented on this same phenomenon, to the Marvel Cinematic Universe's failure to do right by their female characters. And then I linked my coffee. Thank you to my best friend for doing the voices of Allison and Virginia. I love you. And then sources. Yeah, this doesn't really look like my common sources do anymore. Sorry, my phone's buzzing. Doesn't look as much like my descriptions do anymore. I definitely was like explaining myself a lot more than I do, I think, in my later ones. And also, I was still using video essay at this point, which is a different thing from when I started my channel to now. I do not call my stuff video essays anymore. Hello, Marty, you made it. Oh, I'm going to mod you real quick. Add as moderator. Oh, I need to watch that, though. Every time I remember Alison Bechdel, I'm like, darn, I almost got to play her in a musical once. I love Fun Home. I feel like I managed, other than the fact that I talk about theater a very, very tiny little bit in that Bechdel test video, I've managed to make it like almost a whole year on my channel without it coming up that I really, really love musicals so much. We're breaking that seal like a lot at a time because I'm working on my Rent video for Christmas. I'm working on a Patreon video about the musical The Last 5 Years, which I also really am... I struggle to say I love The Last 5 Years, even though I probably technically do. I think The Last 5 Years is really good, but I also think it is telling on yourself, the musical. And Jason Robert Brown, the guy who wrote it, got so sued by his ex-wife that he had to remove all references to the ex-wife's religion. So it's funny to listen to that play and know that you, like, are not taking the side of the man who wrote it if you are taking the side of his ex-wife. So I have a lot of thoughts about The Last 5 Years. Marty says it's complicated. It is very complicated because I love it. It's so fun. And yet Jamie is such a piece of shit. So I've been doing there's not like a whole bunch of reading to be done. It's just mentioned in a couple of articles from when The Last 5 Years was new, that like they had the lawsuit and everything. And he had to pay for all of her lawyer fees. So even though they settled, I'm pretty sure that means she won. Because not only did he have to change everything, but also he had to pay for her fee. I love Kathy's story, but I hate hate Jamie so much. Yeah, I said Jason because that's Jason Robert Brown. Movie or stage play? I'm mostly talking about like the play and the like soundtrack, because I think the movie sucks, and I also think how much the movie sucks is also meat on the bone for a video essay. Because I'm pretty sure I don't have evidence for this, but I feel like the reason why The Last 5 Years movie is so bad is because neither Anna Kendrick or what's his name, is it Jeremy Jordan? Neither of them would agree to have less than half of the screen time, so they had to put them both on stage all the time, even though if you are staging The Last 5 Years correctly, you have one person on stage at a time other than when they get married. Because Kathy is going backwards in time. She starts at the breakup, and then you see her go back to the beginning. And then you have Jamie, he starts at the breakup, and then he eventually is like, Jamie starts at the beginning, and eventually it's breaking up. And it's like, they should not be on stage at the same time. The whole point is that they are like experiencing these not quite in sync because they are going to get a divorce. But then now you have like Anna Kendrick is doing what should be a solo, but the guy playing Jamie has to be like, yeah, Jason Robert Brown comes up on Facebook as someone I may know sometimes. I'm pretty sure I've heard that he name searches, because I think he's like gotten into beefs with people on Twitter who post about what a piece of shit Jamie is in The Last 5 Years. My bestie is going to see Hadestown because of me. Oh, I have heard Hadestown is amazing. I have not seen it yet. I haven't seen any musicals in real life. Like I'm into musicals you can get into from like a YouTube boot or like a soundtrack. But I've heard that Hadestown is amazing. And Ani DeFranco has like something to do with that, right? Or did at some point. I really like Ani DeFranco. I did not like Jeremy Jordan's interpretation of the songs either. I think he was struggling with an objectively shitty character. Yeah, I agree. You're so correct about the last 5 years. What an odd choice for a film because that concept is so theatrical. Exactly. Exactly. Like it has to be a play. And that is something I enjoyed about like I've watched the Wicked movie several times now. Well, several is an exaggeration, but like three at least. And that still feels like a musical. And I feel like the last 5 years movie does not still feel like a musical the way the Wicked movie feels like a musical because it feels like a series of disconnected music videos. Sorry, how do you have the story of the last 5 years and not side with Kathy? Right, right. I knew somebody once who was like, oh, like Kathy really wants somebody to rescue her, and that's really difficult. And it's like, okay, but he told her to quit his job. He told her to quit her job. He told her, stop working. I will pay for all of your stuff, and you can be an actress. And then, like, yeah, she resented him for it, but he also resented her for it. And yeah, the fact that he wrote it, like he wrote it's Telling on Yourself the musical. And I'm doing a Patreon version of it because I like some of these songs and I wanted to sing them and I didn't really want to do that on the main channel. But I think I'm going to talk about it on the main channel at some point too, because that movie is just so truly, truly bad. But yeah, to return to what I did already rather than what I'm focusing on. This Bechdel test video was my first one that I actually did, and you can see, I don't know, I don't think you can actually, I don't think I can have the audio.
I'm a lesbian. I sure do have opinions about the Bechdel test.
I was gonna have a running bit before I ended up figuring out what my, like, hi, I'm Ophie, YouTube videos, I'm a feminist and a lesbian. As you can tell, I already had figured out that dark lipstick makes my lips easier to read, so I was wearing dark lipstick at this point. But I was filming in my closet because the idea was going to be, hi, my name is Ophie. I can't remember when I decided Ophie YouTube videos. Well, I guess I can see if I said it in this one. But it was gonna be, I'm Ophie, I'm in my closet, but obviously not the big one. And then I didn't end up using that in this one, because I think I said I sure do have opinions about the Bechdel test.
I'm Ophie.
Yeah, I said I sure do have opinions about the Bechdel test, because that was gonna, I think the original video was like, I have opinions about the Bechdel test, and then at some point later on, the I want to talk about title scheme ended up doing better, so that's what I ended up using. He literally objectified her from the very start and was mad when she didn't function as the object he'd created in his head. Exactly! You get it. You get it. Like, she had no possible way to win, and he's saying, I could never rescue you, all you ever wanted. Like, motherfucker, you offered that to her. She didn't ask for that. You always have the best shirts, Ophie. Thank you. That used to be like a dress, and then I realized that I never wear dresses, and I was like, I would actually wear this if I just cut it into a shirt. So I cut it into a shirt a couple years ago, and it's like very much fraying, but I still love that shirt. And then I just talked about this one in my new one. I did a video about the Christmas Night movie with Vanessa Hudgens. That was my second video I ever did, and you can see it has 321 views right now. I think, oh, nope, one of my other ones also did less than that. I was going to say I think that's probably one of the lowest numbers we'll see, and it is one of the lowest, but it's not the lowest. This one I did on Christmas, so I had originally thought that I was going to launch my whole channel with Ruthless, which I also talked about a bit in the first stream today, so sorry if anyone's here for both of these. I thought I was going to launch my whole channel with Ruthless, which I ended up doing in June. And when I realized I wanted to practice more, I still wanted to put something out like for December, and I just decided I'll do something for Christmas. But I really started rolling when I did my video about 13 Reasons Why. This one, I'm pretty proud of, like, comparatively, especially because my audio wasn't great at this point. I was just filming with my audio. But you can see I started it by mouthing along to the Hannah Baker monologue. And I had some really, really, yeah, you can see I like my own video in this one. I don't do it for all of them, but some of the ones that didn't get as much attention as I thought they should, I try to boost them. But I had some bits I was extremely proud of with my 13 Reasons Why video. I think that this video is pretty good. I wish that I had, well, I'm glad I did it because I did it before I was monetized, so I didn't have to worry about, like, not using clips from a show and getting copyright claimed, which is a theme with a few of my early videos that I decided to make. But I kind of wish that more people had already been following me at the time I put this one out, because I think it's good, and I think it people don't realize it's good because it just doesn't pop up in the recommendations. But bits I am proud of with this one, and you can kind of see as we're scrolling through. So, like, I had, like, news stuff. 13 Reasons Why has this very heavy-handed visual symbolism where the flash forwards are, like, very blue-toned, and also Clay always has some kind of injury on his forehead. So you can see, as I was, like, cutting this video together, I have some of my stuff in, like, normal warm lighting, and then I have this very, very intense blue, and also the Band-Aid on my forehead. And at some point I also had multiple Band-Aids on my forehead, because the bit is, and this is a spoiler for anybody who hasn't seen this yet, but the bit was that I figured out partway through researching for this video that this man who wrote 13 Reasons Why is a sex pest. And so I hit myself in the forehead, and I was like, oh my god, of course, that's why this movie is so, like, this is why this show is so bad. And so I thought it would be funny, especially because Clay always has the wound on his forehead. I thought it would be funny to put Band-Aids on my forehead throughout, and I think I didn't quite, there was like one or two where the blue was really aggressive, but that was the bit with the forehead Band-Aid. I was very proud of that one. That video introduced me to It's Kind of a Funny Story, and I loved it. I am so glad somebody watched It's Kind of a Funny Story because of my video about 13 Reasons Why. That is amazing. I love It's Kind of a Funny Story so much. Sorry, I just saw a comment about my Podco. I saw your video on the Podco, and your Podco mic was really creative. Thank you. I wanted to make sure I didn't lose that one in the scroll. I had a lot of fun making that silly little Podco mic. I almost didn't use it because I was like, it looks really bad. And then I was like, it's better that it looks bad. I think if it looked really good, it wouldn't have been as funny. And that one too, like this one where you can find like a little hidden joke. At the very end of that Podco video, they had the side of it is the side where I could only fit pod, not Podco. So it gets worse. There's a worse side of my little cardboard Podco microphone stand oriented towards the camera in each portion that I filmed. I read the book first, loved it. Yeah, it is. It's so good. I love that book. I read it when I was a teenager, which I think I also talked about in this video, so you probably already know. But I read it as a teenager and really loved it. And it makes me mad that 13 Reasons Why gets like so much hype when there's already a really good like mentally ill teenager book, and there's like a lot of really good ones. Yeah, I talked about Speak in that video too, and I reread Speak, and I reread 13 Reasons Why, and I remember I reread Speak in like a night, maybe like a day and a night. And it took me days to slog through 13 Reasons Why. And I don't think 13 Reasons Why was any longer than Speak. It just is a bad book. But Speak was so fast. And so the Lizzie Bennett Diaries one, I am also extremely proud of. This one, it has like a little over 1,000 views, 1.2K. Okay. That one was another one like the 13 Reasons Why one, where I was like, I want to make videos where I'm going to be like referencing stuff that would get me copyright claimed before I can even make money off of my YouTube channel. Like, I'm practicing anyway. That felt like a good way to get myself used to editing like all kinds of different clips, to like be editing my own and also stuff that other people filmed. So I did a 3-hour long video about the Lizzie Bennett Diaries, which was a YouTube adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. And I am so glad that I made that video when I did, and that I rewatched everything when I did, because like a month or two ago, apparently all of the Lydia Bennett streams, sorry, I'm saying streams like this was in 2024, all of the Lydia Bennett vlogs were like removed. They're just gone. The Lydia Bennett YouTube channel, which was up and everything was still up and able for me to access when I watched it, is all gone. And I found a Reddit thread where somebody has like a drive with the full thing, but I just was looking at that and thinking like, oh my god, if that had been gone by the time I went back to look when I made that Lizzie Bennett diary video, I would have been so sad. I'm just really glad that I got a chance to re-experience all of that when it was still like one big cohesive playlist, since I guess that's not the case anymore. And also, nobody that I could find had any kind of like explanation for why those videos went down. Like, I think maybe it has to do with the fact that they put all of the Lizzie Bennett Diaries stuff up on like an app to try to paywall or something. Yeah, it's so sad because like there was additional like Tumblr and Twitter content that was already lost and that we already like knew was lost, but now it's like those YouTube videos should have still been up. There are YouTube videos way older than that are still up. And somebody had like tweeted it to Mary Kate Wiles and been like, hey, do you know what's going on with this? And she had no idea, and she was really sad. So that's a bummer. But I am glad that I made my video and that I like praised specifically the Lydia arc as much as I did, because that's what was so special to me about Lizzie Bennett Diaries. Did you hear about Drake Bell pulling a card from the Ned's Declassified crew by asking about a Drake and Josh reboot? I sure did. I sure did. Yup. I'm talking about that in an upcoming video. I don't think Josh Peck, I don't think there's any reason to believe that Josh Peck's feelings from like a year ago about not wanting to do a reboot have changed just because of Quiet on Set. And if he makes me eat those words, I will like him even less than I already do. And that bottom already dropped out when he was shitty to Jeanette McCurdy. Hi, Absinthe! I love the Lizzie Bennett Diaries. I didn't know the Lydia videos are gone. Yeah, it like just happened. I just saw, for some reason, a post came up on my Reddit and I thought it was like brand new, and then it was from like a month ago. But they were just like, you have looked at Lizzie Bennett Diaries content on Reddit before, see this. And I was like, you're right. But yeah, so that was like a little hyperfixation I did, because I did this 3-hour video just about how much I love the Lizzie Bennett Diaries and like how much I think that they improved, again, specifically the Lydia storyline, because she's really a nothing character in the book. Like, she's a cautionary tale and nothing else. But then I did a separate video where I talked specifically about how it was the executive producer guy and like his greed that meant that they didn't make any additional videos like of any other series after Emma approved. And there's like a lot with that. I'm sorry, my chair is loud, so I'm gonna readjust, but it's gonna be unpleasant. So I watched the Look Back Diaries podcast that Ashley Clements, who played Lizzie Bennett, did, and she talked about like this whole thing where they did like it's not GoFundMe, it was a Kickstarter. They did a Kickstarter for DVDs for like the run of this thing that was for free on YouTube, and everybody who was paying for it with the idea of like, we are going to pay for production costs for the DVDs, and then everything else goes for bonuses for this cast. And then that's not what happened with the money. Like, the guy just put most of it into like bonuses for himself and like additional projects when it wasn't supposed to. Like, it was very much, people were paying for it because it was supposed to be for this cast. And like, Hank Green put out a video saying this is what it is for, this is like what you're giving your money to, and then he didn't actually like have anything to do with where it went, which really sucks, because I feel like if Hank Green knew at the time that that was what was happening, he would have done something about it. And I talked about that in my video too. I gave credit. Now that I'm doing this, I'm like, well, is this interesting if you've already seen all my videos? But, you know. I'm gonna look at the comments again. Hello again. I saw the post on Blue Sky and came over. Hello again. Welcome back. Josh would do it if the price is right. That's how fake he is. Probably, yeah. MK Wild has alluded to things don't know with that too. Mm-hmm. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I love watching your videos. Oh. As soon as they're released, even though I have no idea what the topics are some about, so throw in the thoughtful. I learned so much. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was reading that fast. My mouth got a little mushy. Thank you so much. I'm having a really great day. I had a lot of fun streaming earlier, which is why I figured I would come back for another round, and I said this earlier too, but I felt a little guilty because I was nervous the first time. I was like, I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. So I wanted to just like do one with no pressure. And then I was like, okay, maybe I can give people enough of a heads up to show up for a second one. Kitty, Jojo is my girlfriend's name. Ooh. Jojo's name is short for Joanne Woodward, because she is named after a fictional pet that a character that I have has. He had a cat named Paul Newman, and then he got a griffin, which is like a bird cat thing, who he named Joanne Woodward to go with Paul Newman, the fictional cat. And then I ended up getting a cat, and she looks very much like the drawing that my best friend, who I write with about this character, did of the fictional Joanne. So now she is Joanne Woodward, because I could not come up with another name, because that picture that my friend drew was from like months before Joanne even existed. And I could not come up with another name. So she's JoJo. I'm glad you mentioned that, as I think I watched your videos on that, and then I didn't see another video from you until the Neil Gaiman stuff came out. Whoa, that's like a long bridge, yeah. I'm hoping she'll come over. I put on the thumbnail, she may or may not be included, because she's taking a fat nap on my bed right now. Like, I keep waiting for her to come over, and she has not yet. Hi, Jess! Not after JoJo Siwa. No, and one time I called her Joanne, and I normally call her JoJo in the videos, and I was like, the next time that I made a video, I like felt like I had to make a point to make it clear that her last name was Woodward, because I was like, oh my god, what if somebody thinks my cat is named after Joanne Rowling? So I had to make, there's one of my videos, I think it might be the Cupcake Mom one. I make this very awkward little clarification where I'm like, I'm childless other than my cat Joanne Woodward. And that was specifically because I was terrified that somebody was going to think that my cat was named after J.K. Rowling. And I don't think that that's an assumption anybody actually would make. But, like, Joanne is a very specific name. Niche ContraPoints memes of Natalie saying Joanne in a high voice. Love cat named Lore Minor, all named after Arrested Development characters. I love that. I love that. What are they named? Okay, let's see. So Lucille would be a really good cat name. I'm into like the old lady names for cats. I think those are really good. Uh would you name a cat Job? Is one of your cats named Job? I feel like I need to know now. I need to know which names they are. My cat is my son. His name is Leonard. Leonard is also a very good cat name. That's so cute. Jojo makes me think of the singer, so whenever Jojo pops out of a video, I say, leave, get out. I'm not fond of Job. Um, Maybe George Michael, Kitty, Barry, and the dog's name is Lucille. Lucille is such a good name for a dog. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Maybe is also really cute. That's really cute. Okay. So I stayed focused on this whole Pemberley Digital thing, which was the like production company that was making the Lizzie Bennett Diaries, because they also did one called Emma Approved, which was about the same Jane Austen novel Clueless is based on. Um, and then this one, oh, maybe this one. Um, so Emma Approved Revival. I was proud of this video. It's one of my shorter ones. It's like 13 minutes long. But they had made Emma Approved, and then like 5 years later or something like that, they did a couple more episodes of it. But that also, after Bernie Sue had already lost the trust of his audience that he does what he says he'll do with a Kickstarter, he was like, oh, we'll do this one via Patreon, and you guys pay us every episode, and then we'll keep making it. And so they didn't end up making more than what they had originally filmed, which was sad, because the original run of Emma Approved was not very good, but the reboot was. It's just very short. And I saw the guy from Emma Approved in something like not very long after I finished working on those videos, and I thought that was wild, because I was like, I don't think I've seen this guy in anything in the like however many years Emma Approved existed the first time. And then only once I had revisited it. It's like that thing where once you see like a specific color car, they're everywhere. Um, yeah, so 167 views here, me just sitting outside talking about how I don't think that they need to make a Wynonna Earp movie, um, which I still stand by. I would love to make long form content about Wynonna Earp at some point, though. I love that show. Elevator pitch for Wynonna Earp, if you're not familiar, is like, what if Supernatural was about sisters and didn't hate women? Which was fun. Joanna, who played Emma, is in an episode of Good Place. That's right! Yeah, she totally is. She totally is. Um, I feel like it was a comedy or something that I saw. Oh god, I want to say his name is Brent, but I'm not sure if that's right. Because now that I'm saying it out loud, Brent sounds like a name I would make fun of a man with that, like a man who looks like that, by calling him Brent, but I think his name is Brent. um, yeah. And at that point, I was starting to feel a little bit more confident in like my ability to make videos or whatever. But I made a video about Wayward Guide for the Untrained Eye, because that also reminded me a lot of Wynonna Earp. Man, I still need to watch Wynonna Earp. How long of a watch is it? I think there's 4 seasons. I'm not sure. Don't worry, Sunny, this isn't my actual browser. So the thing about Wynonna Earp is, yeah, so there are 4 seasons, but as you can see here, it's like 2016, 2017, 2018, and then there's like a little gap, and then 2020 to 2021 was season 4. And season 4 of Wynonna Earp was not aired through Sci-Fi. They put it on a different channel, or it had originally been like from a Canadian show, and then it went onto Sci-Fi, like it actually was produced by Sci-Fi, but I think it got canceled by Sci-Fi and picked up by something else, and then Sci-Fi just still carried it. But anyway, all that to say, they were not allowed to swear for the first 3 seasons of Wynonna Earp, except that at the very end of, I think, season 2, they got like one fuck. Wynonna, who is constantly saying like anything else other than fuck because they can't find a way to like they're trying to make her still sound like she would sound, and she very clearly would be a potty mouth, but she's not allowed to be. But like at one point she gets to do like a we're gonna break this fucking curse, and it's the coolest thing because you've been hearing her say like fudging and like shit ticket for like the whole series, and then suddenly they're carried by this new network and they all get to swear whenever they want to, and there's like a 6-minute long lesbian sex scene between Nicole and Waverly, like on the stairs. It was unbelievable. And if they had gotten a bunch more seasons right at the end, I would have really enjoyed that. But I don't trust whatever they're gonna do with this movie that they got, because I feel like Emily is just gonna be like, we need to set up 16 loose ends so that we can get the fans to get us to go ahead and like get more seasons, because that's what they kept having to do every time a season of Wynonna Earp would end. It would be like just about to get canceled and it would live on the bubble, and the fans would be like, hashtag fight for Wynonna or whatever, and then they would get renewed for just one more, but they would never actually give it like a satisfying conclusion. And then they finally did, and then now there's gonna be a movie, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's time for something else. They should have said fuck in the first 3 seasons. They should have. Really, oh my god, okay, I'm watching, I'm scared for the movie, but I'm gonna try to pretend it ends at the last season. Maybe the movie will be good. I could be wrong. I could just be like a negative Nancy. But I feel like the show gives you a very satisfying, like, it's good. It ends, like, satisfying. The movie could be Waverly cleaning a kitchen for 6 hours uninterrupted and I would watch. That's also true. Like, I'm complaining about it before it exists, and then once it's out, I'm going to be all over it because it's going to give me more Waverly content. Which actually doesn't bode well, probably. They probably know that we'll accept any garbage. Yeah, that's kind of like, that's my fear. I don't know. But also, I just love that show. I love that show so much. I love that show. Sci-fi had my favorite show, Haven, for the longest time, but Haven kind of fell off, so I'm looking for another sci-fi adjacent banger. Yeah. If you enjoy, like, cheesy sci-fi, like, and this is, like, sci-fi like the channel and not sci-fi like science fiction, though I guess maybe it's technically science fiction. Maybe. But it's like the sci-fi channel, so it's like I don't know. It's the same people who brought you Sharknado. You can't have, like, the highest of standards, but also, like, you might have a really fun time. And Wayward Guide for the Untrained Eye is another, like, web series that had Mary-Kate Wiles in it. She was Lydia Bennett in the Lizzie Bennett Diaries. And, she plays, like, a twin with this guy who turns into a werewolf. It's a very fun show. I that was just a very casual spoiler I just gave, but also, like, you kind of know that's going to happen going in. But Wayward Guide is really fun because they did, like, a filmed mini-series, which included actually Darren Criss, which really surprised me, and Shauna Astin, which was just, like, weird because otherwise it's, like, internet people. Which I guess Darren Criss is an internet person, but I always forget that because he was on Glee. But they have the show, and then there's also a tied-in, like, podcast, because the 2 main sibling characters of the show are doing a podcast about this small town that they're investigating with the werewolves. And it's really fun. I think you can find a playlist on YouTube. I probably linked it in the description of that video. I think there's a playlist with both the podcast episodes and the show, and it's really fun too because you can see, like, how they cleaned up the narrative after the fact. Oh, I was sitting outside on this one. You can see how they cleaned up the narrative after the fact because they can't be like, oh, and it was really werewolves, so they, like, give, like, their regular world version of the story. Yeah, I have the playlist linked there. I think they had a contact to ask Sean. Sean asked him if he'd, just because maybe he'd say yes, and he did. Yeah, he seemed like he was having a blast. He's in very few scenes. They probably knocked all of that out pretty quick. But he definitely, that was very fun. Darren Criss has starred in web content, so yeah. I have not seen Headless. I've seen stuff about it, but I have not yet. I recommend Lost Girl. It's from the same creator as Wynonna Earp, and it's about Anna Silk, who is a succubus who has to fuck or she dies. I have heard so much about Lost Girl, but I haven't seen it yet. I would love to at one point, and that probably also would be fun to make lesbian content about. So now we're at 9 months ago in our little survey of our first year. I can't remember details, but I vaguely remember some wackadoodle internet drama that involved a Lord of the Rings inspired charity that managed to rope in Sean Astin. Oh my god, my best friend is working right now, and if they weren't, they would know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, it was called like the Mind Hole or something. It was the Mind Hole, I think, that they were doing, and they had like a whole. Yeah, I think Marty's right. I think Strange Aeons might have made a video about that. Yes, I've read some about this, and it's wild, and I agree that, like, probably the good-naturedness that got Sean Astin into that the first time, and then this too, but it went better for him with being part of Wayward Guide. Okay, so this one that I did in March, this was the first video I did that did, like, somewhat well, and it was my I want to talk about the lesbian masterdoc video. I think this was also one of the first ones. Actually, it was the first one where I hung out on my bed while I filmed. I think I had been in the closet or at my desk before that. Yeah, so this one got 8,000 views, which I think it got, like, the first 5,000 pretty quickly, because that was the first moment that I had where I was like, oh, wait, my channel is gonna go somewhere. Point of view, you're my friend, and I think we should maybe talk about the lesbian masterdoc, because it seems like you might not really love dating boys. See, like, that is so much more like how I currently will do a video description than that first one I did was. Like, that's what I mean when I'm saying it. Like, it took me a while to work some things out. And also, look at my hair. I was bleached all the way to the top, and now you can see exactly how far it has grown out. Yeah, I was saying earlier, I thought it was funny. I had a bit where I was going to film myself in my closet and say, I'm Ophie YouTube videos, I'm a lesbian, I'm in my closet, but obviously not the big one. And then it turned out it's very uncomfortable to sit and film in my closet, no matter, like, if I sat on the floor or if I sat on a milk crate. So I ended up deciding to sit, like, at my desk or on my bed. Ooh, that's buzzing. But yeah, so I was first starting to be on the bed at that point, and I had way more recent hair dye. But this one did really well, and I linked to the lesbian masterdoc. I linked to Adrian Rich, Compulsory Heterosexuality and Lesbian Existence, a Vice article, and then also a post from Tumblr. Yeah. That's funny, but yeah, not worth the back pain. No, it's so much more comfortable on my bed or in a real chair. Yeah, so that one did really well, and you can see it still did, like, better than a lot of the other stuff that I was doing at the same time was. And so, especially off of the back of this lesbian masterdoc one doing so well, that's when I decided, if I'm just talking about things that I'm interested enough to talk about for a long time, I should make content about Taylor Swift being gay, because a lot of my longtime friends knew that I had gone full into gaylor conspiracy mode when Me was coming out before Lover, because that came out on Lesbian Visibility Day, and she was like, oh, Me out now, after, like, this big countdown. And it had been a big secret that I thought it was fun to pretend Taylor Swift was gay before that. But I was like, if she's doing this in public, I will do this in public. And so I made my my little reputation video in March, right after the lesbian masterdoc one did well. Reputation by Taylor Swift was almost certainly not intentionally written as a bisexual or lesbian narrative, but I think subverting popular culture into something we can identify with is a cornerstone of the sapphic experience. And in this video, I unpack my thoughts on the subject and give a little background for some of the theories that circulated this album when it existed. Girl, it still exists. As well as provide some examples of why I find it so compelling. Yeah, so that one was fun, and it got me like a couple thousand views, but it didn't do quite as well as that lesbian masterdoc one right before it had. And then I did Useless Lesbians, Lesbian Sheep Syndrome, and the Missed Point of Sapphic Hesitation. And that one's funny because I talked about Lesbian Sheep Syndrome, which was like a meme where people talk about like, oh, lesbian sheep want to be with each other, but they're both too shy, so they don't do anything. And I talked about that, and I explained it, but then I also was like, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I didn't make it clear enough that I like understood what it was, because I had said it didn't make a lot of sense to me. People commented and they were like, I don't think they literally mean sheep. And I was like, no, they do. Like, it's literally about sheep. That's why I was saying that it's, like, silly to compare this to women. So, like, people were like, no, I think it's just a metaphor. And I'm like, no, I promise you it's sheep. I know I said it doesn't make sense, but that doesn't mean that I didn't know what it was. But that one did pretty well, too. That one got, like, 4,000 views. Which is the first one that did well before I started covering, like, the stuff that I really moved into. Because I feel like right here, around 8 months ago, we really see a change in the channel. Because that was when I did this one. Why is Eat Predators giving Drake Bell's Darvo campaign free PR? And this was... I had a little lav mic that I should not have been using as a handheld, so the audio is very bad in this one, but it did pretty well. It did about as well as that lesbian masterdoc one did, but it is more significant rather than because of how the audio came through or how the numbers did. It's more significant because that is what tipped me off into talking about Alexa Nicholas more. Which, as you can see, and as you're probably aware of if you're familiar enough with my channel to be here on a stream, hi, I talked about Alexa quite a few times after I did that first time about Drake Bell. Let me look at the comments. I really like the vibe of the stream. Is the plan to keep doing these? I would really like to. I think it's fun. I hadn't been sure like how I would feel about it, but I've already been using my videos to socialize, and this feels like a really good way to do that. I'm so happy I got Ophie addicted to streaming. You sure did. The album was removed from the universe. That's why she can't do Taylor's version. She doesn't remember the lyrics anymore. I just watched a video essay on Justin Bieber. Ooh, who is that? That sounds potentially interesting. Shout out to Paige Christie for the mic that she gave to Ophie. Yes, yeah, Paige sent me this microphone. And that was like, oh my god, that was like the nicest thing in the world. Because Paige also had just been covering Drake Bell. And like, this would have been nice of her even if she hadn't also been covering Drake Bell. But like, so Paige talked about Drake Bell like right after Quiet on Set came out. I believe her video about Drake Bell not being innocent came out before my like, why is... Eat Predators giving free Darvo to Drake Bell. I'm pretty sure hers was already out, or like they came out like almost the same day. And she was really, really nice because I in general, like, no matter what, but she's really nice. But it was so kind of her to, like, see us both kind of covering the same thing. And then she noticed that, like, I had such a need because my microphone was not good. And she reached out to me and she was like, girl, you need a better microphone. I want to send you one. What's your address? And I was like, oh my God, are you serious? And it was like, it was so kind. It was so nice of her. Again, like I said, especially because I feel like somebody who was not the kind of person Paige is might have seen that I had, like, been covering the same things as her and just been like, ugh, whatever, like this girl is stepping on my shit or whatever. And it was a relief that obviously Paige doesn't see it that way, and she was just glad that we were both talking about Drake Bell. And then in general being kind to me and like following me back on social media was so kind. But the microphone was such a kind thing because it was just such a reassuring gift as I was like getting my footing. Yeah, that was so nice of her. That's also why I always mention it in my videos that she was the one who gave me the microphone, because I just like want people to know how nice that was of her. Okay, catching up on comments again. Oh, it's Ashley Norton. I love Ashley Norton. I love Ashley Norton a lot. I'll definitely have to watch that. First videos I watched of yours was your Drake Bell videos. I found you because Brina Rice replied to you on Twitter. Yeah, I think a lot of people found their way in with Drake Bell and with the Alexa Nicholas ones. It was like, I've talked about this before too, and I know I'm always, you could make a bingo card or a drinking game out of how often I bring up Amber Heard probably, but I've said this before and I'll say it again, but like Legia Miller and Princess Weeks and the people who I saw who immediately at the time of the trial against Johnny Depp and of the trial of Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, the people who were willing to step in at that time and say like, hey, here's what I feel about this. This is wrong. This is bad. That was really impactful to me. And that was something I knew I wanted to do like as soon as I had a YouTube channel where anybody was listening to me. And I think I had 3,000 or like less than 3,000 subscribers at the time that I made those videos. But it still was like, okay, I at least can make videos. I at least can say something to somebody. And then I got to kind of like have the cycle repeat because I tell that story all the time in my videos, and then people tell me that they felt that way because of me, which is like really sweet and really kind. And it makes me glad that I was like willing to kind of like jump in and get my feet wet when Quiet on Set was so new and be like, hey, whatever's happening here fucking sucks. Beautiful woman who is hot. That's a great name. Beautiful woman who is hot says, Ophie, what is your zodiac sign? I am a triple Cancer. Big fan of the rising water raises all ships idea of YouTube trends. Yeah, me too. I agree. I found you from Paige. Amazing for Paige. I love Paige. Princess Weeks is incredible. Princess Weeks was so brave for coming out as early as she did, considering she's also bisexual and a woman of color. Princess Weeks' video was incredible. She did so well. Love Princess Weeks. Yeah, I consistently love Princess Weeks. I think she also did one about the Menendez brothers that I also really enjoyed and appreciated, that I like recently went back and rewatched because of that like Ryan Murphy show. Princess Weeks makes really great content. Like, if you're not already watching Princess Weeks and you're watching me, you're in for a treat when you go watch Princess Weeks instead. Drake Bell commenting a ton on your video about him and people hating on you / your video on Reddit is how I found out about you. So Drake unintentionally helped your channel. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So we'll rush through some of these other ones because we're getting close to Drake Bell commenting. So I talked about Alexa, and then the Alexa video did well, but I didn't want to only talk about Alexa. So I also talked about like Fundy Snark. And then I talked about Alexa again, and then more stuff happened, and I talked about Alexa again. But then I did a video about, like, your fave is problematic. But then this one here, this is the one that Drake Bell commented on. Drake Bell isn't being set up, why I stand with his victims. And I did... I recreated a thumbnail for a video that he was linking to from his music video that came out around the same time as Quiet on Set did. He was linking to this video called like Drake Bell Accuser Story Falls Apart. So that's what I'm referencing on my thumbnail here. I said Drake Bell Conspiracy Theory Falls Apart, believes survivors even when their abuser is a survivor too. Feminist analysis of Drake Bell's rehabilitation campaign. I was putting way too many words on my thumbnails. So I made that video and I went over how his whole story that he's running around telling, including in that video that was linked to from his music video, is that these women who came out against him were told to do that because they wanted to, like, undermine Drake's story if he came forward in the future about Josh Peck. I mean, not Josh Peck, sorry, about Brian Peck. Even though Brian Peck already was, like, a registered sex offender, so it's not like there was anything to really, like, silence Drake about. Anyway, I made that video, and Drake Bell commented on it 16 times. Yeah, Drake Bell hate commented on you. Yes, yeah, so this was back in April 20th, actually, so I guess I posted this on 420. I'm trying to find the Drake comments. Drake Bell official. It was also effective to the fact he was able to produce films starring children, but let's gloss over that, shall we? Why don't you look up the films Brian produced starring children after his arrest? The defending of Brian Peck here is astonishing. Let's make sure to say he wasn't hired to be a dialogue coach. Let's not mention the people who hired him. Let's not mention the other celebrities and producers protecting him and remaining silent. Thanks for protecting the people of Holiday. Thanks for protecting the people of Hollywood who protect these people. Nice work. And people making videos like this down the horrors done to us are the problem, comparing mistakes in our lives as if what happened to us was decades ago. So no need ought focus or tell the truth is why we hide it for so long. She says the people who wrote the letters didn't know it was me, even though they mentioned me by name. She doesn't mention any of the movies he made with children, just that when he worked for Disney, it wasn't as a dialogue coach. Not mentioning people who wrote the letters, hired him for a job on a children's network. These YouTubers are helping Hollywood and doing exactly what they want. And I responded, and I said some of them did, and that even the ones who didn't should have known better than to write a letter. I also said that some of them mentioned your name, and that some of them must have learned when they went to court, and I suggested several different places that viewers of this story could go to hear you tell your story yourself. But you are really not making yourself look great by spamming the comments with willful misinterpretation of what I said. Multiple women having testimonies of abuse from you is no more a mistake in your life than what Brian Peck did to you was a mistake in his. I said again and again in this video that what you went through from Brian Peck was monstrous. Go misinterpret someone else. Looking at the comments here. Imagine being so unpopular that you're not even a top comment on a video about you. And so, he said he was also immediately able to go back to work in Hollywood with multiple projects with kids, but yes, attack me. Oh, and this isn't even all of them, because there were more replies. Hang on. He said something, I can't find it, because now I realize I'm under top comments and not newest. One of his comments here, because then somebody on my and I know I should not look at it, I've stopped looking at it since, but there was a comment on the Snark Reddit about me, or maybe this was before the Snark Reddit, and it was just some other comment about him, but somebody was talking about me, and they were like, she lied because she said he commented 16 times and he didn't. But he did. You just can't see them if you're not under all comments and not top comments. Brian sexually assaulted me as a child for over a year, but some ex-girlfriends have some bad things to say after a breakup. That's in all caps. Move along, he said. He was also immediately able to go back on Hollywood on multiple projects with kids, but yes, attack me. And then my bestie responded and said, move along, bestie, you're the one who came here. Which I thought was funny. Because, yeah, it's like some ex-girlfriends have some bad things to say about after a breakup is just wild. Like, the fact that he fucking said that in my comment section is crazy. A bunch of people responded. A couple of people, there was one that I thought was actually funny, but I deleted it because I deleted everybody who was trying to support him, because I just didn't want him to be able to get that here. Like, a lot of people wanted to respond to his comments and baby him, and I was like, you can do that anywhere else on the internet other than right here. So I deleted all of the comments who were being like nice to him, and you can see that here. There's like a lot of people who are saying that he like has done bad things himself. But anyway, yeah, so he commented 16 times on my video, and then he blocked me on Twitter, and we never interacted on Twitter. I never tagged him in anything on Twitter. Like, he absolutely, either he found my video on Twitter and then he like blocked me because he found my Twitter video and then commented on it, or like he got so mad about my video that he blocked me on Twitter. Like, he looked me up and blocked me on Twitter. Like, the fact that I deleted my Twitter means that I have lost my bragging rights of being blocked by Drake Bell, and that is a little bit sad to me because I did think it was extremely fucking funny that Drake Bell blocked me on Twitter. So I did make another video after he had commented on my video, and I said Drake Bell commented on my video 16 times, and I talked about that. That was definitely, like, that was a really, that was a formative moment for the Nuance Corner, though. That's when I was kind of like, oh, wait, so we need to be calling out shitty men. Right, they were children. Like, he says ex-girlfriends, and it's like, yeah, they were ex-girlfriends, but he repeatedly would, like, date these women while they were 16, and then while they were older than 16, but it's like, it started when they were children. Yeah, Drake Bell comments on, like, any video that's remotely critical of him. It's kind of funny. Yeah, no, I know. He, because when it first happened, I was like, there's no way he's doing this to everybody, but I think he does. And then his fans will say, like, oh, it's a trauma reaction. He has to look himself up, and, he has to look himself up and see what people are talking about and what people are saying about him. And you should delete your video out of respect because it upset him and it triggered him. It was crazy. So I did make another video about that because I was like, you know what? If he's going to comment on my shit 16 times, I'm going to get some content out of that. 16 seems to be a popular number with Drake. No. Adam needs blue sky. It's so much nicer. The hate he got recently was such nonsense. Yeah, I watched his video about getting confronted at the Trisha Paytas show, and I felt really bad for him. Also, somebody asked me a question earlier. I'm gonna see if I can find it because I was curious, and then now I can't find it. Or not curious, but like I was gonna answer. Drake Bell made sure to leave comments under 18. Oof. Okay, I'm not sure where it went. I think somebody asked me a question about, like, YouTubers that inspire me, or, like, YouTubers that I took inspiration from when I started my channel, and I can't find that in the comments now, but I actually do have I have a playlist. If you look for formative to the Nuance Corner on my playlist, I have a bunch of creators, or really rather a bunch of videos from a handful of creators, where I remember like watching them either before or shortly after I started making videos and being like, oh wow, this is really like a lot of what I want to do. And Laura Crone is on there. I adore Laura Crone. Laura Crone is really, really good. Lee Speaks, I also really enjoy. And I watched Lee Speaks like from the first video that she uploaded, so that was like inspiring to me to be like, oh wait, somebody actually can like start a YouTube channel. And then I have Unpoetic Justice, who I also really, really like. I think anybody who's watching and enjoying my videos would also enjoy Unpoetic Justice, because Justice makes really, really good videos. And Biz Barclay, who I also love. Biz Barclay I only found recently. I think I found her like probably within just a couple of months before I started making videos, and very, very like, oh, this is what I want to do. Laura Crone, I literally rewatched Laura's video about Gone Girl Thriller Books for Women last night. That is one of my favorite YouTube videos. Like, absolutely. I love that video so much. I've watched it, I think, like 3 times at least. It is so good. Biz Barclay's Midnight Mass God's Not Dead video also is really, really good. I really like Biz Barclay. I have some Shanspeare videos on here. There's some Kunkin Dassner videos I liked. Made in the Moment. I really like Made in the Moment as well. Ashley Norton, who we were just talking about. Dan Phil and Toxic Shipping Culture and Unpacking the Click franchise. So this is like a 17 video playlist for Formative to the Nuance Corner. I don't talk about it a lot, but I have like a handful of playlists that I've made. I've got one for like, because people got mad at me when I said you can't make documentaries if you're Swoop. But when people got mad at me about that, I was like, oh, I'll make one. So these are videos that I like would actually refer to as documentaries. And notably none of them are Swoop videos. So it's almost as if I still had a point. I was doing like monthly recommendations for a while, and then it just got like really difficult for me to keep up with. So I've kind of fallen off of those, but I also have some like of my own playlists, like here for the lesbian content starter pack, or I have one for like if people are just finding me like videos that I think are like a good introduction to me and the kind of things I talk about. But I definitely would check out, if you're ever looking for something to watch, you can check out my 2024 favorites too. I also have a handful. I think it's a lot of the same people who were on that first Nuance Corner Adjacencies video. But yeah, no, I love YouTube. I love making YouTube videos. And I think I have questions in this Q&A thing. So I'm sorry if anybody asked those and then already left, because I forgot I had linked to that. What pushed you to start a YouTube channel? Do you have any big plans / projects regarding your channel for 2025? So I would say I don't exactly know what pushed me like completely over the edge. I thought about it for a really long time. Like even all the way back when I was a teenager, I would like sit around and think about how cool it would be if I did make YouTube videos, but then was like, well, I don't live an interesting enough life for that. So I always wanted to, and then I didn't realize until, like I was saying just a little bit ago, like watching Biz Barclay and also watching, because Made in the Moment had an existing channel, but what I got to see was Made in the Moment switch from doing like specifically like crafting videos to doing video essays and like crafting drama videos, and doing really well with that. And that's, again, like I said, like between that and Lee Speaks, I was like, oh, people actually can still start a YouTube channel and actually like find an audience and success. That's really cool. I kind of thought you had to get on that train back during 2020 if you wanted to be on it. And so that was part of it. And then it's also like I had lost my job like the spring of the year where I started in December of last year. That was a weird way to say that. But I had been doing a work from home job, and then I ended up losing that job because I couldn't like reliably work on a schedule. And they fired me, and I just like needed something to do and to focus on. And I also really needed like something I could do that could be even like tangentially a job, but that I could do like on the hours where I felt well enough to do it. And so that's when I started like, okay, maybe I could do YouTube. And I started thinking about video essays. And then I had been working, like at first, I don't know if anybody is around who had found me this far ago. But at first my channel name was actually Ophie and Kit, because I was going to do it with somebody else, because I genuinely, I didn't think that I was likable enough to hold down my own YouTube channel. I was like, I need somebody to do this with in case people don't like me, so they'll follow for this other person. But then the way that things ended up shaking out was that I ended up being like more able to work on videos and like getting things done than the person I was going to start it with. So by the time I had done like 3 or 4 videos and I was starting to realize that people did actually like me and want to subscribe to me, I was like, would it maybe be okay if I just had my own YouTube channel? Like, I love you. You are a dear friend of mine. I would still like to work with you on things in the future. We could have another YouTube channel that is like a joint YouTube channel. But is it okay if this one thing is like me, since I'm already working on it? And my friend was amazing, because he was like, yeah, of course, like you have already been the one doing this. But, you know, it just like, I needed the on-ramp of feeling like I was doing it with somebody else. But I feel good about like doing it solo now, because we don't like live in the same spot. We don't live like in the same place or anything. So it's just like easier for me to do stuff on my own. But yeah, so that was my like original idea. And then that's kind of how it changed. Oh, check in the comments here. Crafting drama is so good, especially because the stakes are usually not that high. Yeah. Soup calling her videos documentaries is like calling Love Island a documentary. You have a set and snappy editing. Congrats. Right. Ophie has a great community. Yeah, I love this little community here. And this is, I love the live chat. I think the live chat is really fun. I did put it on like subscriber only mode because that felt safe. But I love my subscribers here. Ophie and Kit still fits with JoJo. That's true. She's my little kit. Hey, baby. She's eating. I'll pick her up and bring her to the camera when she's done eating. Okay, so not to talk about myself, but Ophie literally supported my small ass 500 sub channel to make an actual video. Aw, Sunny. I love Sunny. Yeah, so Sunny is one of my mods here in the chat. I promoted Sunny's videos in my video about when I left Twitter. Sunny made me like a little animated section about leaving Twitter as an artist. And then I also got to voice a John Green tweet in one of Sunny's videos. You should absolutely check out Sunny's videos. I love Sunny's videos. Sunny Dionysus. You can probably, I think, just click the link through in the chat all the way to the channel. But he's been making like fandom related content. He just put one out about like a Homestuck AU. It was really cool. Do you have a favorite flavor of cookie? I like those butter cookies, like the thumbprint cookies that you like push your thumb down into and then you put the jam. I like making my own jam, which is a very old lady hobby of mine. But one of the few like odd but fun things that I learned when I was homeschooled was how to make my own jam, because I taught myself how to make it. So I love making jam and making like butter cookies with jam in them. Oh, I love this next comment. Okay. Any thoughts on the line between commentary, video essays, and documentaries? The trend of calling every commentary video a video essay has been getting under my skin lately. I have this cynical idea that eventually everyone's going to start mislabeling their videos as documentaries, swoop style. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I sure do have thoughts about that. Okay, so yeah, I was saying earlier how I don't typically still use I don't still say video essays to refer to my videos. I say I make conversational commentary videos. I think I've made like a couple of videos that I would refer to as a video essay, but I am very hesitant of calling something a video essay when it's not like an actual essay, because I feel like some of the people using video essay are making these really incredible and like polished and gentle, like not gentle, but like polished and careful works, and some people are calling it that, and then they like kind of recap the plot of a video game for 20 minutes, or you watch a lot of you watch a lot of TikToks with them and they tell you about it, and then they're like, this is a video essay, and you're like, wait a minute, where was the essay? And I feel like, even that is like not exactly the kind of content I make. I very much script out my stuff before I make an essay, but I do personally like, I think if somebody told me I make a conversational commentary video and then we watch a bunch of TikToks together and they tell me what they think, I don't feel lied to. If somebody told me they made a video essay and we're watching a bunch of TikToks together, I feel a little bit lied to. um I think most video essays are pompous as fuck. I would love it if you never went that route. I like your personality. Thank you. Yeah, I realized like fairly quick into editing that like I like leaving my stuff kind of unpolished. I feel like obviously right now while I'm doing like a like a live stream, it's not very polished. But I like leaving in a little bit of breathing room when I talk. I like leaving in my facial expressions. Sometimes if I stumble over a word, I'll leave that in or whatever. But like I feel like people are finding me because they like what I'm doing, and then that's when I will watch people and they have like a bunch of background music or whatever, and it's totally competing with what they're trying to say, and I'm like, oh, I just want to hang out. Okay. Are you familiar with Sarah Shower and Kendall Landreth? I don't know who Kendall. I don't know who the second person is. I think I know who Sarah Shower is. Where was the essay? I thought I have a lot when people like don't present a thesis, don't offer supporting arguments, don't have structure. My brain, it hurts. Right, like if you just want to sit down and do a vlog, just sit down and do a vlog. But like if it's just a vlog, it's okay. I think Mika's rhetoric videos are the closest thing to an actual essay I've watched. It's clearly structured like an essay. Yeah, I love Mika's videos a lot. I think I really like how Mika and I sorry. I like seeing Mika in the viewers also watch your channel section when I look at my analytics. I like seeing that we share an audience because it makes me feel better about the kind of content I make, that people who like hers make mine. So I was really, really excited about that collab with Mika too. I love Mika. And it was so nice of her to let me be in that video that she made about Alexa. And I agree that I think that like her stuff is very academic and like sourced and structured, so it like actually is a video essay. Anyone who says they're making documentaries and posts frequently enough to have a schedule is not making documentaries. Yep. I agree with that one. Yep. 100%. I like that your video titles are not clickbaity. Thank you. Yeah, I try to come up with something that like would make somebody want to click on it, but I also, like I said, I never want somebody to feel like misled, or like I talked them into something else. Like I'll click on something sometimes that the title makes it seem like it's going to be like a specific examination of a thing, and then all of a sudden it's just like, or like, sorry, they act like it's like looking at like a larger thing, and then it's just like one specific fictional character they have feelings about, and it's like, I might have clicked on this if you told me it was specifically about this guy from the video game, but like, I wouldn't have clicked on it with all of the excitement I clicked on it when you told me it was about vampire boyfriends as an entire trope. um Floating Lime, one thing I really respect in Ophie's comments is that she's open to comments and she engaged with the community so much. Thank you. I think I missed something here. Do you know who Anna Marie Fortino is? I do. Yeah, I've never like spoken to her or anything, but I watch her videos. I think she's great. Yeah, Stella, I'm not entirely certain what your question is about biphobia in the lesbian community. I think I've spoken about it somewhat in like my 4B lesbianism video. I'm very pro bisexual women. I'm also pro heterosexual women. I like bisexual women. I think biphobia is bad. Not entirely sure. I'm sure that there would be more to say about that, like in a full video, but like just on the spot during a live chat, I'm not sure exactly how much I have to say about it, if that makes sense. Mika is great. She also makes me laugh a lot, even though she says she isn't funny. Mika is very funny. Mika thinks that she's not funny. She like said something to me one time. She was like, oh, you know, like, she said something about feeling like her personality doesn't come through in videos, and I was like, I feel like her personality comes through in videos because I feel like she's funny. Like, I enjoy watching her videos because I feel like I'm like hanging out with somebody who is funny. Yeah. Feminist likes women. Holy cow, stop the presses. Yeah, let's see if I have other questions here. Dumb reflection question, but I'm curious, what was your favorite video to make? What video of yours are you most proud of? Thank you. I absolutely am the most proud of Ruthless. Ruthless was, I also talked about this a bit earlier tonight when I did my first stream. So again, sorry to anybody who's seeing me talk about the same thing over and over again. But ooh, not that. Okay. So Ruthless was a video that I did about my hometown of Hot Springs, Arkansas, and how there is a woman there who calls herself the Cemetery Angel, sometimes the AIDS Angel. She grifted like $65,000 for a GoFundMe memorial and also a whole book deal and a lot of notoriety for her story of having cared for gay men with AIDS during the AIDS crisis, except that if that did happen at all, it happened to the tune of like a handful of people, and she increasingly is expanding the number of people who she says she helped until it's like dozens. I think it says hundreds on her, or hundreds or over 100 or something like that on her website, and none of that is backed up by data from like the CDC or anything. I'm most proud of Ruthless because I got to talk to a survivor from the area, Tim Looper, who I really, really love, and I also got to talk to a social worker who runs the actual HIV clinic there, and they were amazing, and they were so helpful, and like so excited to get to tell the right version of history. And we also got to replace the headstones for 2 of the men who were lost to the AIDS crisis. They had this like grave marker that was very moldy, and it was in really rough shape. Like it was it was in really rough condition. It was tough to make out. And we were able to, me and a friend of mine, we were able to replace the headstone for Tim and Jim Gentry, who were buried there. We were able to replace the headstone for them. And Tim Looper, who lives in Hot Springs still, was able to help us. And that was amazing. That's definitely the thing that I am like the proudest of and the happiest about. And I also have gotten to donate, like not a ton because the views aren't massive on on Ruthless, but I was able to donate some money because I had promised that I would donate the ad revenue, which I did. But then I also, when my first video about Swoop did well, I also donated money from that one to Tuggle. So I've given Tuggle like $50 in donations now, and I've earned less than that from the AdSense. But if it ever picks up, I'm gonna send them more, and I'm gonna send them more once I'm making like more than I need from my rent. But that would be the one that I'm proudest of. And that was, like I had said before, it was going to be one of the first videos I made. And then when you actually look, it took me quite a while to get there. But yeah, so I had talked about Quiet on Set quite a bit too when it first came out, obviously. I did a video about the Hunger Games on Katniss's birthday on May 8th. I did James Somerton. This one, I am so proud of this video, Strange Fruit, but almost nobody watched this one either. I think my videos about HIV get shafted a bit in the algorithm. And they just don't tell people when I upload. But this one, I talked about an art piece I really love, and part of what I love about this video is that I filmed like overhand shots of myself sewing together banana skins, which is part of this art piece, Strange Fruit. And that was really, it felt good to do. It was really fun to do. And that was a fun, it was like tactile. It was really fun. But also I just love that piece of art a lot. So I was really proud of that video too. But again, like that one, 786 views. And then immediately the next video was Swoop, 61,000 views when I talk about Swoop. Like there's definitely people want to talk about how I only criticize women, blah, blah, blah. If I was that YouTuber, I would have seen that happen. I would have seen me get 60,000 views talking about Swoop, and my entire channel would have become like woman hate central. And I know that's what some people comment as if I do anyway, but it's like, even though that is the ones that do the most popular, like I very much am still very proud of the videos that don't do as well. And the fact that they're there, I feel like insulates me against taking it seriously when people say all you do is criticize women. Because like if you actually look at this, like not up until we get up to Alexa again in June, is there a woman besides Swoop and the AIDS Angel? But yeah, I have like a handful of videos that didn't do quite as well. Like this one where I read a lesbian how-to guide from the 90s. That one's still at under 1,000. And then this one too about HIV, AIDS denialist death cult that fooled the Foo Fighters, 1.3 thousand. Stuff is like very like it's not standard yet. Like you can see I have 10,000 on this one follow-up about Alexa, but then when I talked about Alexa again a couple months later, it's 37,000. And then like my It Ends With Us video, which a lot of people will like talk to me about and remember, that one has 16,000, which is like a lot, but it's not a lot compared to other numbers that I see for like videos about Blake Lively in my thumbnail, like on the sides. And then yeah, I did the Neil Gaiman one 5 months ago, and then I followed up on it again 4 months ago. Hi Princess Pink. They say that to defend Swoop, meanwhile look at Swoop, oh my god, she loves to drag women. Right, yeah, if Swoop never ever talked about a woman, maybe you would be right to tell me I'm being a hypocrite, and yet here we are. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Lala. Thank you. That's so nice. That's my first ever super chat. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like I'm just going to keep saying that because I'm scared that it's behind and it's looking like I'm not saying that yet because I know that it lags. But thank you so much. That's amazing. Happy Friday, everyone. And Ophie, you're doing amazing. Thank you so much. Neil Gaiman would have been when I subscribed to your channel. Yeah, those ones did pretty well, I think. 43,000 views for that one. I thought more people were going to talk about Neil Gaiman than did. Like I thought that was going to be a big topic of conversation, and I've seen a couple people, but I don't know. I think a lot of people were just really hoping that they could get away with just accepting the narrative that it was like some big conspiracy against him. That's another follow-up that I want to do. I think before the end of the year, maybe, but I'm not sure. But I read an article that Tori Amos did recently where she was talking about Neil Gaiman, because the two of them had been close, and clearly are not anymore. And I thought that might be like a halfway interesting follow-up angle for that. But yeah, I'm trying to finish catching up on the videos. I feel like I skipped around a little bit. The Mandela Effect Facebook groups one that I did on my birthday because I just wanted something silly. That one is fun. That also might be a fun live stream to go through some of my screenshots from the various Facebook groups I'm in. Tori Amos was basically amused, so that's big. Yeah. Tori Amos. Oh, I didn't mean to close that. Okay. Tori Amos, I didn't know this until I was reading this article about her in The Guardian, but she was like really involved like at the very beginning of the formation of RAIN. Like RAIN was set up because a teenage girl asked Tori Amos for help and was like, hey, I'm being sexually assaulted at home. Is it okay if I come on tour with you? And Tori Amos was like, yes, of course. But then Tori's manager was like, if you bring this teenage girl on tour with you, you are going to get arrested for kidnapping. And then Tori like never heard from that woman again, from that teenage girl. And she was very, very like, she thought about her a lot. And she ended up working with like other feminists and other people who were already working for like a sexual assault hotline. And they ended up like putting RAIN together as a result of that, as a result of like Tori's experience with this teenage girl who had like passed out and being taken backstage during Me and a Man, or Me and a Gun rather, which I had no idea and is really, really a lot. So especially Tori Amos, like she has that big of a connection with RAIN, and then that was one of the things that Gaiman apparently had been like hanging over the head of one of the women that he was like predatory to, was like, oh, I'm friends with Tori Amos, she could get you a job with RAIN, which is really fucked up. Yeah, it's she did an interview with The Guardian. She talked about like Neil Gaiman and the election and everything, and it was really good, but I had no idea she had been so involved with RAIN. Like, I knew she was like a celebrity spokesperson, but she was like the first celebrity spokesperson for RAIN. Soup has probably criticized more women than you. I think so too. I liked the Gaiman video, but I have no investment in him, so I didn't comment. That's so real. I'm really bad at commenting on videos I watch, which I appreciate my commenters so much, especially because of the amount of videos that I watch and I just fully forget to comment on, even when I'm still thinking about it like days later about how good it is. And then honestly, this one where I was talking about people quote retweeting ED Twitter, I probably should have just quit Twitter at that point. It was over. It was Jover. But alas, I stayed for a few more months. Yeah, we did 4 Alexa videos in a row in September, which was one of the biggest months for the channel. Yeah, 32, 32, 37, 22,000. But then I went into political mode after that, and the political videos did not do quite as well. Got like 4,000 on my Chapel Roan one, that was fine. 4,000 on my Jill Stein one, that was fine. That one was also political. The Diddy memes one, 4.5 thousand. Liam Payne allegations, 17. I think it was at less than 10,000 before he had passed away, and then it got like a bump after that. And I had said that I would follow up on it, and then I haven't yet because there's been a lot. Like, there's just been a lot of other stuff I'd rather talk about besides that man. But I will at some point. I get a little anxious to comment most videos, but your content has a way of making me feel comfortable and thoughtful. Thank you. Oh, yeah? Well, come over here. Everybody would love to see you. Come on over. Yeah. Good job. That's amazing. Look at that baby. Hi. Oh my goodness. That's their baby cats. Don't leave. Jojo just jumped over here, but now she's like barely out of frame. She's out of frame just enough to block the lamp. Jojo, everybody loves you. Jojo, say hi to everybody. Yeah, don't go. Don't leave. Just all grinding to a halt because I need to see my kitty cat. Yeah. Hi, baby. I was hoping she would come over, and now she's not. She's not in the frame. Can you come closer? Can you come closer? Look at that baby. Hi. I'm great at commenting when I do, but I never got into gaming, so I was just like, okay, good to know. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I get that. I didn't have, like, existing. I think I got into that in the video. I hadn't read anything from gaming. Yeah, what is Alexa Nicholas even doing today? Still blaming others for her actions, undoubtedly. Yeah, I haven't heard anything new from Alexa going on super recently. I have like some follow-ups I want to do before the end of the year, but I don't think that I'm going to do another Alexa one before the end of the year just because the end of the year is fast approaching. So while there are definitely still other things to talk about with Alexa, especially with like the Nick Carter deposition, I think that's going to be early next year that I get around to that one. I think Alexa is laying low because of her implosion. Yeah, I think so too. I think she's trying to see if things will blow over. Yeah. Okay. Now she is in my way. Hi, baby. Okay, hi. Yeah, and then so I talked about politics a lot. I did learning as much about ballot access, abortion access ballot propositions as I can in one weekend. That's when the I love abortion sign came up, which I was only going to leave up for that one video, but then so many people, well, I say so many people, it was only like one or two people have gotten offended by it. But as soon as somebody was upset with it, hi, Kate! As soon as somebody was upset about the I heart abortion sign, I was like, I'm gonna take that out. I'm never gonna take that down. Rather, I left that out on the wall for the rest of my videos, because now I feel like I can't take it down. So yeah, we did that abortion one where I put up my sign, and then I talked about a local one for Massachusetts. That one and the one about Florida are both at under 1,000. The Missouri one did pretty well, actually, considering that, like, Missouri is kind of a small state, I think. That one got 2,000 views. We did Project 2025, RIP, immediately after the election one, another one after the election, Taylor Swift liberally, and then we went back to normal. We went back into normal mode, I guess, ish, 4 weeks ago when I made my video about how I can't stay on Twitter, and then I did all of these new ones that you're already familiar with because you follow me, because you're here on my live. I did my one about the Capitol bathroom ban, Trash Discourse, and I did our feminist separatism crossover. That one was really fun, but I wish that I had talked about 4B earlier because I feel like everybody beat me to their 4B videos. Cormac McCarthy video. That one, a handful of people got mad at me because I called him a dead pedophile in that one, and I was like, he's dead, I can call him whatever I want. Somebody said it was a serious corruption of language, and I was like, okay, but he's dead. And not only is he dead, but he's a dead pedophile. Like, that's fine. I'm allowed to say that. Yeah, Sunny in the chat, the moderator in the chat, is in the I Can't Stand Twitter video, like I said earlier. And then I did this one about Ariana Grande being skinny, which I didn't say in the video because I knew people were going to get mad at me either way. So I was like, I have one tiny piece of defense I can have against people being mad at me, and that's if I don't name Ariana Grande. But like, we're in a live, I can say it's Ariana Grande now. And then obviously we just did the swoop follow-up on Thanksgiving. Podco video was last Thursday, and then I just did my new Christmas movie video this today, which this one compared to that Night Before Christmas one that we talked about towards the beginning of the stream, which still only has like 300 views, like Marty said, that is a huge difference in just a year, which is really fun. Like, I don't think that I don't think that I'm going to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Social Blade for sure thought that I would, but I don't think I will. But I'm so much closer to 10,000 before the end of this year than I ever thought that I would be. Like, I didn't think 10,000 would be anywhere in sight until, like, next spring, maybe. So to be like a year in and to be this close to 10,000 is wild. To be able to just like pop onto a live stream and be able to talk to people is so fun and so exciting. I'm just really, really grateful. I'm a world-class yapper, so I love to comment when a video inspires me, and Ophie videos often do. I literally will, like, wait for the Marty comment. Like, I don't feel like I have completed finishing uploading a video until I get a comment from Marty. At least her last name is big. It was Ariana in that. She was unrecognizable. She's unrecognizable because she's doing a Kristen Chenoweth impression, and it's really good. That's why Ariana Grande is unrecognizable in Wicked, and also because she's too small, as I have discussed that I have issues about, but will remain nuanced. I really enjoyed the Wicked movie, and I did not want to enjoy Ariana Grande in that movie at all, but she's really good. Kate says, I also think you will. Thank you, bestie. That's my best friend, who I said earlier when I was reading the description that somebody read the quote read in my first video about the Bechdel test. That was my bestie. Marty says, I really liked that latest Hallmark movie. Thank you. That one was really fun to work on. And it's nice. I said this in the video too, but it's nice to work on something that's not like heavy and allegation heavy, because there's been a lot of that, as we've just seen, going over the kind of stuff that I've been talking about this year. I feel like I started on like a lot of really like lighter and easy topics, or like 13 Reasons Why wasn't like super light, but it's the bad behavior of the 13 Reasons Why guy is not as bad as some of the other bad behavior we've recently spoken about on this channel. So that was a stepping in. But yeah, I have some follow-up videos that I want to do. I want to talk about, like I said, I want to talk about that Tori Amos and Neil Gaiman article, because I thought that was really good. And I want to talk about Drake Bell again, because he's trying to get his stupid little reboot, and he's doing his like he was at like a nostalgia con, and somebody told me in the comments of my Podco video, because I didn't know that the Ned's Declassified cast and Drake Bell was there, and also so was Kevin Spacey. Like, why is Kevin Spacey a featured guest at a nostalgia con for like 90s nostalgia? I don't understand. And they said the reason that he is for Kevin Spacey because he's in A Bug's Life. But also, like, why would he be there? And it's crazy. Right. So I said, what? Like, yeah, like, why the fuck was Kevin Spacey there? And Drake Bell performed. He performed I Found a Way with the Ned's Declassified podcast cast. So yeah, I want to talk about that, and also his little Masked Singer arc. Kevin Spacey has also been invited to a few horror cons this year. It's gross. Ugh. Yeah, no, I feel like somebody else mentioned this in my comment section recently. I think on the separatism video, maybe. But we were talking about how everybody who, like, at the time of the Johnny Depp trial was all excited about, like, having support for male victims suddenly. Like, none of those people gave any kind of a shit about Anthony Rapp when Anthony Rapp had to testify against Kevin Spacey. None of those people cared. And that's because Kevin Spacey is, like, sullied by being part of Me Too, and Me Too was when women are annoying. So we actually only care about male victims when it's against a woman. My cat is peeing so loud I am half convinced you will be able to hear it on the microphone. It was so loud that I just was like, is she even in the litter box? She was. That was very distracting. I think this is like 2 hours cumulatively that I have streamed, and this is the first time she peed at the time. Yeah, they didn't give a single shit about Anthony Rapp, and it makes me furious. It makes me mad too. And I don't know if it's also because Kevin Spacey played the whole, like, oh, I'm actually gay. Yes, I heard it. I don't know if another reason that people left it alone is because Kevin Spacey did that whole, like, I'm actually gay and it's Christmas, so problem. But I don't know if that's another reason why people have left it alone, or if, like I said, it's just like they don't care because they hate Me Too and they think Me Too was women being annoying or whatever. Hey, Jojo, you want to come here? I was going to make her answer for her loud pee. Today I saw there was going to be a Malcolm in the Middle reboot, and I wondered if the Masterson brother will show up. I am... like, this is such a dumb statement, but, like, it does devastate me a little bit that Francis from Malcolm in the Middle is a Masterson. Like, I can't lie. Francis was my favorite part of Malcolm in the Middle, and I didn't know that until, like, very recently. I think not until I watched, like, the Coffee and Colts video about the Masterson brothers. Very sad. No, because a bunch of other, for lack of a better term, traditionally masculine gay men were defending Spacey. Gross. Oh, I hate that. I'm gay and it's Christmas is only an excuse. I'm gay and it's Christmas is only an excuse for when I burst into tears at Target because the snowmen kissing are too cute. And also when customers are mean to me at work. So real. Wild that I just found your channel and the videos about Drake Bell, and then Facebook sends me a notification that he's performing in concert tomorrow, literally in my city. Gross. Great videos, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, no, I think of this whole tour that he's been on, I only saw like one concert that got canceled because of backlash, and otherwise he's just doing fine. He's just hanging out. He made it like 8 episodes into The Masked Singer or whatever. Frustrating. Him and Kevin Spacey both being at the convention. I just don't like that. I especially don't like Drake Bell being invited to these conventions. Like, do we not already think he has enough, like, access and free reign with, like, fans through social media like he already does? Like, he's already had to plead guilty about. Do we really need to let him do that, like, at the time? Jules said, I don't know anything about the other brother. Are they all Scientologists? As far as I'm aware, yes. I think that they're both, like, I think that whole family was, like, raised in Scientology. And that it's not a matter of, like, just Danny Masterson from That 70s Show sucks. I think it's, like, the whole family. Yeah, all of them. Tara from The Walking Dead. Oh, really? I didn't know that either. I don't understand why these dudes require a redemption arc. Like, was A Bug's Life really that important to you? Literally, who gave a shit about A Bug's Life? Drake Bell said he would like to host Kids' Choice Awards in the future. I bet he fucking would. Yeah, no, I saw he is having, like, all of these headlines because he said that he wants to do a Curb Your Enthusiasm style show with Josh Peck. And as I said earlier, like, I think Josh Peck a year or two ago wouldn't have wanted to do a reboot with Drake Bell, but maybe now Drake Bell has enough positive media intention that he will. I don't know. But I fucking hope not. I really fucking hope that there is not a Drake and Josh reboot. That would suck. That guy's already getting too much attention. He doesn't need more. Although, more people would notice how untalented he is if he has to try to act in front of people again. So maybe, like, mixed success there. Because they will realize that he's not talented. You can't really tell from, like, the old Drake and Josh stuff through the fog of memory. But I feel like if you had to actually watch that man try to act, you'd be like, huh. Josh Peck sure seems to make friends with a particular kind of dude, huh? I don't trust Josh Peck as far as I could throw him now that he's all little and skinny. Like, I thought he was the funnier one on Drake and Josh when they were kids. But I don't trust him. I don't trust him. He had that whole, like, he had that whole thing with Jeanette McCurdy where she did the podcast with him for his Good Guys podcast. And I think being the kind of man who will call your podcast Good Guys and be like, we're good guys, I think that tells me something about you. And I will never fucking know what really happened there. But we do know at some point that Jeanette McCurdy asked for their podcast episode that she did with him to be pulled, which, like, they did, but then Josh and his co-host, like, complained about it on later episodes, and they were like, Jeanette asked for the episode to be pulled, and we pulled it, and we're good guys, but we don't, she owes us one now. She has to come back and record another episode with us. And then Jeanette just very obviously never has, which I think is her right. All I can see in my mind is his weird smirky face during his victim statement. Yeah, no, Drake Bell was totally doing, like, Drake and Josh acting. It was awful. Josh Peck, you twinkified yourself. The moment you twinkified yourself was the moment you opened yourself for a javelin throw. Josh Peck also hung around with predatory viners and David Dobrik. Yeah, his book, I was just talking about this in the Podco video, but, like, his book, he talks about, like, not having gotten residuals from children's TV, which, like, that fucking sucks. Feel really bad for him. But then he's like, a lot of it, so much more of the book than I was expecting, is Josh Peck complaining about how, forgive the pun, but 7 seconds after he learned how to monetize Vine, it went away. And it's like, okay, yeah, I kind of get it, that fucking sucks, but also, like, come on, man. You're fine. You can have a job. You can work. Like, it's not this huge injustice. This is not as unfair of a thing as the residuals thing was. Like, you aren't just, like, gonna be rich. I don't know. And I think it was being, like, it was, like, he had all of these Viner friends that he was talking about in the book, and that's another reason why, like, the further we got into the book and the further away we got from, like, I don't know, there were a couple things I found very mildly charming, because I did the audiobook, and he would, like, say something, and then he would be like, at the Jewish Cultural Center, shout out to the Jewish Cultural Center, and that was, like, a little bit charming, but it also did wear, and especially by the time I was, like, reading about all these awful Vine guys, I was like, wait a minute, why were you part of this? Mm-hmm. Methinks these good guys doth protest too much. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't know a ton about Dobrik. Like, I think that's the guy, and then, well, like, that's the rich guy, and then his friend got in, like, the terrible accident, right, I think. because if I know about that, I know about it because of Nicole Raffy's like Chronically Online Girly Explains thing, where she does those great videos where she's in front of like the wall and she has like her tongs and she's like showing the pictures and stuff. I'm pretty sure Nicole Raffy did a video about that, and if she did, that's the most I know about David Dobrik. Dobrik, I think, because they were saying the pizza like Dobrik. But that's the only thing I know, is that his friend getting hurt was his fault. He was the main Vlog Squad guy. Yeah. I don't think I could name another Vlog Squad guy besides David Dobrik with a gun to my head. Jeff Wittick is the friend he injured. Yeah, I think I might have gotten to the first name Jeff, but I wouldn't have gotten to Wittick. Yeah. Yeah, that was fucked up. Yeah. All right. Who else was in the Vlog Squad? There's a 2021 Business Insider article. Who is the Vlog Squad? Oh, come on. It's gonna make me log in. Yeah, I don't know any of these people. Oh, Gabby Hanna. I know Gabby Hanna's name. Scotty Sire, Toddy Smith, Alex Ernst, Gabby Hanna, Lisa Koshy. Do I know who this person is? Do I? I don't know. Liza? Oh, I do. I do know who she is. Okay, I know two of these women and Josh Peck. That's it. This was happening on a different side of the internet than me, and that's okay. All right. I'm gonna check that little questions and answers form I did again in case there's any new ones in there I missed. I don't think there is. I think we got them. Okay. Well, I think this is about as long as I went the first time, if not maybe a little longer. I'm not sure. But I might pack up soon. If anybody has any other questions they would like to ask me, or anything else you want to talk about before I go, because we definitely got a little bit off topic here. The Vlog Squad corner of the internet is one I'm glad not to be in. I'll stick to the Nuance corner. Real. Person I trust the most who was involved in the Vlog Squad was Trisha Paytas, if that tells you anything. Yeah, that's pretty rough. I can't remember if Kat Tenbarge did an article on the more serious accusations. I feel like she did. That sounds like something Kat Tenbarge might have written about. I know Kat also wrote about, like, Jeffree Star when a lot of those allegations were surfacing. Maybe this is another thing to look into. Maybe we should do some Nuance Corner video about the Blog Squad. Will you leave this stream up? Yeah, I definitely will. I'm going to leave this one and also the one that I did earlier up. I don't know how often I want to stream, but I definitely want to start streaming more often because I think this is really fun. And I feel I sometimes convince myself that I'm not truly an extrovert, but I feel like this has really charged up my social battery, even though I also, like, now I'm tired of talking and need to be quiet for a while. But, like, this was awesome. This was really, really fun. So I would definitely love to do this more often. And I also think it would be fun to do it, like, for research streams when I'm working on stuff in the future, especially if I end up having to, like, watch videos for stuff. If I can, like, watch it with people, I think that would be fun. So yeah, definitely planning on leaving this one up for video on demand. Let me see what I got here. Most of these names sound fake. Yeah, I agree. I'd like to know if you saw Alexa's banned/lost video on Drake. Yes, yeah. I believe I linked to that in the description of one of my videos about Alexa. There should be, like, an archived version that... was it Beyond Safe Words? Or was it I can't remember exactly who it was that archived it. But there is an archived version of Alexa's initial stream about Eat Predators, Drake Bell, and all of that. I think my idea at one point was that I wanted to do a video where I like contrast that versus the different stances she's taken about Drake Bell since, and then I ended up not circling back to that because that was during that month where I did like 4 videos about her that I had that idea, and I was like, I should maybe move to something else for a little bit. But I am planning on talking about that at some point soon. Jojo, are you coming back over? Come on over. Hi. She came to say goodbye. I want to say goodbye. I was hoping she would meow, but I don't think she's gonna meow for the microphone. All right. Awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for coming out, especially those of you who were here for both of the streams, because these were both pretty last minute. But I would love to stream more often in the future, and like I said earlier, these are gonna stay up. Hi. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for saying something. But that's all I wanted. I wanted her to say something. So I'm going to go now that she said bye. I love you all. Thank you so much. Bye. How do I end it? Oh no, I said bye and then now I'm not actually where I need to be to stop it. Oh God. End stream. Bye.